Kaylee Rhodes was just 11 years old when her Instagram account set off a murder investigation that would shock the nation. Valerie Moore, a beloved preschool teacher, had been missing for weeks until a disturbing video surfaced on Kaylee's profile showing a lifeless body dragged through the woods. What no one knew then was that Kaylee wasn't the killer, but the key to uncovering one. And behind it all was Gregory Bell, a former boyfriend of Kaylee's mother, who had turned a child's phone into a window for his twisted crimes. What investigators discovered next would unravel a dark web of surveillance, manipulation, and murder. It began like any normal weekend in the quiet suburban town of Clearfield, Ohio. The streets were calm, the sky bright, and neighbors tended their gardens or walked their dogs in peace. But that peace shattered when a disturbing video surfaced on Instagram, posted by an 11-year-old girl named Kaylee Rhodes. The clip was only 17 seconds long, grainy and shaky, but it was enough to send shockwaves through the community. It showed a dark figure dragging what appeared to be a lifeless body through a wooded area. The clip ended abruptly, but not before revealing what looked like a blood-stained cloth and a barely visible foot in the dirt. The caption on the post read simply, "Look what he did." At first, many believed it was fake, perhaps a staged horror video or some kind of internet challenge. But locals quickly recognized the location in the background as Crestview Park, a wooded area near the outskirts of town. The police were notified immediately. By noon, officers had cordoned off the trail, and forensic teams began searching the area. What they found left no doubt. Just off the trail, hidden under loose branches and leaves, was a shallow grave. Inside was the body of a young woman, badly decomposed, dressed in what appeared to be a teacher's outfit. Within hours, the victim was identified as Valerie Moore, a 26-year-old preschool teacher who had gone missing 2 weeks earlier. Her family had been searching tirelessly, posting flyers and holding community vigils. Now, the nightmare had only worsened. How did a child end up with this video? Who was the person behind the camera? And what did Kaylee know about the murder? The police were now faced with a chilling mystery, one that would unravel deeper horrors no one in Clearfield could have ever imagined. Kaylee Rhodes had always been seen as a quiet and introverted child. Her teachers described her as intelligent but withdrawn, often sitting alone during lunch or drawing in the back of the classroom. At home, she lived with her single mother, Heather Rhodes, a nurse who worked long shifts at the local hospital. With little supervision during the afternoons and evenings, Kaylee spent most of her time online, browsing, watching videos, and occasionally posting content to her small group of followers. Her digital life seemed harmless until the video changed everything. When detectives arrived at the Rhodes home, Kaylee appeared calm, almost detached from the chaos surrounding her. She told officers she had no idea how the video ended up on her Instagram account. According to her, it had appeared in her drafts folder one night, and she assumed it was a prank or an app glitch. But the authorities were not convinced. They obtained a warrant to search the home and all electronic devices. What they found only deepened the mystery. Inside Kaylee's room, hidden in a locked drawer beneath her bed, they discovered an old GoPro camera, its memory card missing. On her school laptop, forensic analysts uncovered fragments of deleted files and metadata linking the Instagram video to her device. Even more unsettling was the video's timestamp. It had been recorded 3 days before Valerie Moore was reported missing. Investigators began to wonder, was Kaylee somehow a witness? Had she stumbled upon something she wasn't meant to see? Or was she being used? Nothing about the situation made sense. She was too young, too isolated, and too reserved to be involved in anything like this. Yet somehow her account had become the first and only clue in a murder investigation that was growing darker by the hour. The investigation took a disturbing turn when a digital forensics team began analyzing Kaylee's phone more deeply. Beneath layers of hidden storage, they discovered a password-protected folder that had gone undetected in initial scans. When decrypted, the contents sent chills through everyone in the room. Inside were dozens of videos, some short, others as long as an hour. Each one was silent, shot from odd angles, and clearly filmed without the subject's knowledge. They showed everyday people going about their lives, a woman folding laundry through a window, a man jogging at dawn, children playing in a backyard. The footage was unsettling, voyeuristic, and deeply invasive, but one file stood out from the rest, titled Finale, MP4. It was nearly 48 minutes long and opened with a wide shot of the Crestview Park Trail. As it played, viewers watched through a hidden lens as a woman, later confirmed to be Valerie Moore, walked alone. The camera followed her from a distance, sometimes hiding behind trees or bushes. The person filming never spoke, but their shaky breathing could be heard. Toward the end of the video, the camera dropped briefly, and the image tilted wildly as a struggle seemed to break out off screen. There were faint sounds of screaming, then silence. The final seconds of the footage showed Valerie's lifeless body being dragged into the woods, the exact scene that had gone viral. More chilling was a whisper barely audible in the background. "No one will believe you, Kaylee." That single sentence shattered any illusion that this was random. Someone was deliberately involving her. The evidence made it clear. Kaylee wasn't just a witness. She was being watched, manipulated, and perhaps even threatened. And whoever was behind it was still out there, using a child's online presence as a twisted channel for their crimes. The growing weight of the investigation left law enforcement grasping for answers. Kaylee was placed under protective care, her devices confiscated, and her mother questioned repeatedly. But the break investigators needed came not from the home or digital evidence. It came from a voice at Kaylee's school. A guidance counselor, MS Halpern, came forward with a revelation she hadn't initially shared. Months earlier, Kaylee had told her that she felt someone was watching her. She mentioned seeing a man near the school fence at dismissal and noticing the same gray van parked near her house on several occasions. At the time, it seemed like a child's anxious imagination. Now, it looked like a terrifying missed warning. Investigators reviewed security footage from the school's back entrance. In multiple recordings, a man could be seen standing just outside the perimeter, face obscured by a hood, unmoving, always watching. He never approached, never made contact, but his repeated presence was enough to raise alarms. Police began cross-referencing this with neighborhood surveillance and doorbell camera footage. That's when the gray van reappeared, parked outside the Rhodes home in the early morning hours on several nights. The license plate, once enhanced, traced back to Gregory Bell, a 33-year-old former IT technician and, shockingly, Heather Rhodes' ex-boyfriend. They had dated briefly the year before, but Heather ended the relationship abruptly after what she described as controlling behavior. Now, police learned that Gregory had a record. 2 prior restraining orders had been filed against him by different women for harassment and stalking. Most disturbingly, Bell had once worked in cybersecurity. The possibility that he had installed spyware or hacked into Kaylee's devices seemed increasingly likely. The picture was becoming clear. Kaylee wasn't responsible for the videos. She was the bait, and Gregory Bell was the predator. The search for Gregory Bell intensified as law enforcement agencies across state lines joined the manhunt. His online activity vanished completely, and his known addresses were abandoned. Fearing he might try to harm Kaylee or others connected to the case, the FBI issued a federal warrant. For days, there was silence. Then, a tip came from a motel clerk in rural Indiana. A man matching Bell's description had checked in using a fake name and stolen credit card. Surveillance footage confirmed it was him. SWAT units moved in swiftly. They found Bell inside the room, alone, surrounded by computer equipment, hard drives, and multiple phones. On his open laptop, investigators saw folders filled with surveillance footage, including new material recorded just days before. It appeared he had been planning another video, another victim. Among the items seized were handwritten notes referencing Kaylee, maps with circled locations, and unsettling scripts for potential future recordings. The depth of his obsession was horrifying. During interrogation, Bell confessed to installing spyware on Kaylee's devices while dating her mother. He admitted to monitoring them for months, using Kaylee's Instagram as a trap to leak the murder video and create chaos. He wanted attention, to watch the world unravel from something he controlled. Valerie Moore had recognized him on the trail that day, and fearing exposure, he killed her. The act was never impulsive, it was rehearsed. In court, Bell showed no remorse. His sentencing was swift, life in prison without the possibility of parole. The trial shocked the nation, not only for the brutality of the crime, but for how technology was twisted into a weapon. Kaylee was placed in permanent protective custody, given a new identity, and removed from the digital world entirely. Her childhood was stolen, but her bravery had exposed a monster hiding in plain sight.